Sometimes I hate the place I love. This love made me hate myself so much. For playing with a lady's heart that never should have got broke. I ain't missing to get no admission to love no more. Baby, baby, I'm sorry and sorry again. Sorry so many times, sorry don't mean shit. When it's coming out my lips, see myself in the mirror, so I haul off and break this. This county ain't fair, why am I still here? Pass me on Main and we both still stare. Swerving double lines, but looking in the rear view. Too much to say, even though we both want to. But she knows my tone's made of silver. Turn into a poet when I tell her how much I miss her. If a new man's mad about it, tell him I don't care. Sometimes this county ain't fair. Sometimes this county ain't fair. Sometimes this county ain't. Maybe I'm crazy like Willie Cash and Waylon lately. I've been out alone doing about 180. Trying to jumpstart my heart cause it's dead right now. But in my hometown the headlights never go out. Maybe dimmer as the years fade, but I can shine some love straight through any window pane. And guess this town does what they say, cause my truck's still stuck in them round here. This county ain't fair, why am I still here? Pass me on Main and we both still stare. Swerving double lines, both looking in the rear view. Too much to say, even though we both want to. But she knows my tone's made of silver. Turn into a poet when I tell her how much I miss her. If a new man's mad about it, tell him I don't care. Sometimes this county ain't fair. Sometimes this county ain't fair. Sometimes this county ain't fair.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Millennial Republic. I am your host, Ed Morius, and today we got a few things to get into. There's been a couple things that have been going around lately, and one of them is the New York Mayor, Eric Adams, has been indicted on federal criminal charges. It's very interesting. So let's get right into it, and we're going to hop as soon as I can figure out. There it is. Boom. Live scene. All right. So the source, this is from the Post Millennial. New York Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted on federal criminal charges, according to the New York Times, citing sources familiar with the situation. This is the first time a sitting New York mayor has faced such charges. The details of the indictment remain sealed, and it is not yet clear what specific charges Adams will face. So I think this is pretty interesting right here. So if it is the first time that a New York mayor has been charged, that's historic, and we live in a time of lots of historic happenings lately, and I wonder if the reason why he's being charged is because he was pushing back pretty hard on the immigration from the Biden administration into New York City. I mean, for months and months, he's been hooting and hollering about how New York can't afford this. There's too many. They're overrunning the city. And, I don't know if he's going to talk about the crime rate, but Actual Justice Warrior on YouTube, he talks about it quite a bit with the migrant situation up in New York City. But it looks like here's a clip from Fox News from Sean Hannity. So let's take a look at that.
Fox News has just confirmed Democratic New York City Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted, will face criminal charges. According to the New York Times, the indictment is sealed. It is unclear what charges he will be facing. We'll continue to follow this developing story. And
interesting. So let's read on a little bit more. Earlier this month, federal agents seized phones from several high-ranking city officials, including one of Adams' top aides, the police commissioner, and the school's chancellor. Both police commissioner Edward A. Caban and the school's chancellor David C. Banks have resigned. FBI confiscated Adams' electronic devices as part of an inquiry into potential fundraising misconduct during his 2021 mayoral campaign. Separate investigations have also zeroed in on city contracts and the enforcement rules affecting nightclubs. So it looks like the general overarching theme is going to be basic corruption for the most part, it looks like. Um, yeah, that's pretty wild. I was joking on with somebody on X last night that maybe the October surprise is that because he and Trump have been indicted in New York, that Eric Adams comes out and endorses Donald Trump, which would be interesting. It'd be pretty funny, actually. So nearly 3 years ago, Adams, a former police captain, won election as New York City's 110th mayor, pledging to tackle crime and bring integrity back to city leadership. But his time in office has been marked by controversy as he filled key positions with trusted allies and loyalists. Several of these figures have since come under the spotlight of federal investigations. Well, see, this is one thing that I have a problem with that a lot of people go at is like as he filled key positions with trusted allies and loyalists. Like, yeah, of course he's gonna fill his positions with people that he trusts and people that are loyal to him so he can get shit done. It's like if you're starting a company, are you going to hire people that you know and you can trust, or are you going to hire people that like hate your guts? I'd probably hire people that I know and I can trust. So this one I have kind of a problem with why everybody always jumps the gun on that one. They're like, "Oh, he's surrounding himself with loyalists." Raw. I mean, you do need some dissenting voices. That's why it's very important to me that Trump brought in RFK Jr. and Tulsi because they don't align perfectly with Trump, and they're going to give him pushback on some maybe not so great things. And yeah, there was another story that I saw. Was it SCNR or was it Post Millennial? But yeah, the former CDC director. I think it's scnr.com, but the former CDC director said that RFK was the correct man for the job. I'll pull that up here in a little bit, but we're going to continue going through this Eric Adams thing because this is a little bit wild. Okay. The New York Post reports details about the exact accusations remains unclear, but are believed to be connected to an alleged kickback scheme involving Turkish government illegally funneling money into his mayoral campaign, according to sources. Okay, now this right here, Turkish government illegally funneling money into his campaign, that would be like not surprising, but kind of hilarious that he's a Democrat and these guys accuse Trump of taking foreign interference, and it'd be pretty damn ironic to see one of them brought down for the thing that they accuse Trump of doing. Additionally, the city reports that sources who are familiar with the matter said that Adams is being charged with acting as an unregistered foreign agent for taking actions in his official capacity after receiving donations from foreign sources. Adams is expected to surrender early next week. I always knew that if I stood my ground for New Yorkers, that I would be a target, and a target I became, Adams said in a pre-taped statement. If I am charged, I am innocent, and I will fight this with every ounce of my strength and spirit. Well, good luck, buddy, because Trump tried the same thing, and they railroaded the shit out of him. So let's look at his response here.
My fellow New Yorkers, it is now my belief that the federal government intends to charge me with crimes. If so, these charges will be entirely false, based on lies. But they would not be surprising. I always knew that if I stood my ground for all of you, that I would be a target, and a target I became. For months, leaks and rumors have been aimed at me in an attempt to undermine my credibility and paint me as guilty. Just this past week, they searched the home of our new police commissioner, looking for documents from 20 years ago, just 1 week after he joined my administration. Enough. I will fight these injustices with every ounce of my strength and my spirit. If I'm charged, I know I am innocent. My fellow New Yorkers, it is now.
Should probably unmute microphone. Okay, so that's pretty in line with what we read there. So obviously he knew that the charges were coming down ahead of time, and then AOC, let's see, AOC made a statement calling for him to resign. Where is it? Yeah, so here it is right here. See, AOC called on him to resign. So I do not see how Mayor Adams can continue governing New York City. The flood of resignations and vacancies are threatening government function. Nonstop investigations will make it impossible to recruit and retain a qualified administration. For the good of the city, he should resign. So AOC clearly knew that he was getting indicted as well, and repeated investigations or nonstop investigations like that could be a little bit of a problem. Like, my question is, because of all the things that they did to Trump, right, is how much of this is legitimate and how much of this is just more lawfare because he spoke out against immigration. I wonder if these, and I was watching Timcast IRL last night, and the point was brought up that, is it a level of corruption that they would have been okay with if he had towed the line, or are they only charging him because he didn't toe the line? And that's a pretty damn good point that they brought up. So, and that's why I watched Timcast IRL, because it's worth it for me. Lots of different viewpoints. Like, I don't align totally with everybody there, and it's a pretty good show to watch. You should give them a check out. Adams can remain in office following the indictment unless he chooses to step down. However, Governor Kathy Hochul, or an inability committee consisting of the city comptroller, the city council speaker, and deputy mayor, and the longest serving borough president, could remove him from power under the provisions of the city charter. All right. So yeah, it looks like he's pretty much fucked. He's pretty fucked. He's going to get charged. I don't know if it's going to be one of those where he just gets charged and we don't ever see it again, or if it's going to be, kept in the front and run. I honestly think that they're going to keep it on like front news to try and make themselves look bipartisan by charging Adams, to make it look like, hey, look, the DOJ is it's bipartisan. We charge Trump and we charge Democrats. So, I wonder how much of this is just them blowing smoke up our ass about the weaponization of the justice system. So until they unseal the indictment, and if there's a trial, then it needs to be like public, because I want to see how much of this is real and how much is bullshit. Because after what they've done to Trump, I really don't. I have a hard time believing that they're doing this for actual justice. But on to the next story here. So the Zuck, there we go. The Zuck now identifies as a libertarian, and he's hiring Republicans to rehabilitate his image. So us conservatives have a love-hate relationship with Facebook. Well, not really a love-hate relationship. It's mostly a fucking what are you doing, bro relationship, because famously Facebook loves to curtail conservatives. And I don't know what happened to Zuck, but he has tried to do a 180 here to try and appease the right, because I guess he's coming under a lot of fire. So let's dive right into it here. So in an effort to reshape his public image amid political controversy surrounding Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg has reportedly hired a Republican strategist to help his relationship with the right. Much of the criticism towards Zuck in forms of the right stems from years of censoring and suppressing conservative content. The Hunter Biden laptop story as well. So election interference. Come on, post-millennial. please mention the election interference because you should know more about that than anyone else because they censor you too. Including Facebook's decision to suspend Donald Trump's account after January 6, 2021, and the platform. Right. I should have kept reading. And the platform's suppression of the New York Post's reporting on Hunter Biden's laptop story in the 2020 election. Zuckerberg later admitted that he was pressured by the FBI to suppress the laptop story. Yeah, this is nothing new. This is the same thing that they were doing to Twitter. And quite honestly, I feel like if Elon Musk hadn't bought Twitter and turned it into X, A, we would never have seen the Twitter files, and B, Zuck would have kept his mouth shut about this because when the Twitter files dropped and it showed that the FBI was pressuring social media companies to censor conservative speak, then, of course, people can connect the dots, put two and two together and see that they were probably doing it with Facebook too. It doesn't take a whole lot of brain cells to realize that, yeah, they're doing it on all platforms. X still has some problems, not as bad as before, and Facebook is absolutely atrocious. Like one of the things that I got censored for, so I got a Facebook ban during the pandemic for making a joke, right? And so when I was in Colorado and I'm used to a shitload of traffic because of all the transplants that came out there. And so during COVID, the freeways were clear. There was like nobody on the streets and just it was like a ghost town. And I made the joke. I was like, man, it's looking like the Fallout universe is out here. And I got banned for spam and misleading content. And I was like, okay, so I couldn't make a Fallout joke about how the streets were barren. And this was on a video that I posted. I had a dash cam video of driving through Denver on I-25 in the middle of the day on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, which in the last 15 years, it's not something that you can do. And, but it was like empty. I was like, man, these streets are looking like they were back in the early 2000s, man. It's nice and clear. I can get from one spot to another in 20 minutes instead of 2 fucking hours. All right. So, and Zuck has reportedly hired Republican strategist Brian Baker, the New York Times reported, to help mend his relationship with the right. Sources who spoke with Zuckerberg recently said that Meta CDO identifies in private more closely with libertarianism or classical liberalism. Following the attempted assassination of Donald Trump at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, Zuckerberg even praised Trump's reaction, calling it badass. Zuckerberg also reportedly called Trump twice over the summer. Trump claimed that Zuckerberg told him there was no way I can vote for a Democrat, though Meta representatives have contradicted that statement. Zuckerberg has reportedly not forged a relationship with Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris. In 2021, Zuckerberg and his wife donated $400 million to fund local elections, which was criticized by some on the right as an attempt to influence the election. Zuckerberg informed Congress last month that he would not make similar donations for the upcoming elections. Baker has also stressed to Trump and his top aides that Zuckerberg does not plan to make such a donation again. Despite the analysis I've seen showing otherwise, I know that some people believe this work benefited over one party over the other. Zuckerberg wrote in a letter to Congress last month, Business Insider reported, "My goal is to be neutral and not play a role one way or another, or even appear to be playing a role." A spokesperson for Zuckerberg stated he will not endorse a candidate in this election, nor has he expressed who he intends to vote for. I'm pretty sure that Zuck's going to vote for Trump. Because there is a video. If I could fucking type media. Where's the interview? All right, here we go.
I've done some stuff personally in the past. I'm not planning on doing that this time. And that includes, not endorsing either of the candidates. Now, look, there's obviously a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. The historic events over the last, over the weekend. And, on a personal note, it's, seeing Donald Trump get up after getting shot in the face and pump his fist in the air with the American flag is one of the most badass things I've ever seen in my life. But look, I mean, it's you know, and I think, look, at some level, as an American, it's like hard to not get kind of emotional about that spirit and that fight. And I think that's why a lot of people like the guy.
I think he's going to vote for Trump. I'm just saying, I think he's going to vote for Trump. He looks like he's going to. Now, on the note of the assassination attempt, what? Oh no! Why did that go away? Fucking damn it! I just lost my tab. Shit. Okay, well, I might as well pull it up now since I ended up getting off the tab. So this is what I was talking about earlier. The former CDC director says RFK Jr. is the right man to address America's chronic health disease problem. I think President Trump will empower him. I support their noble effort to heal our children. Dr. Robert Redfield, who led the Public Health Agency from 2018 to 2021, announced his endorsement in a Tuesday op-ed for Newsweek. The virologist noted that the Trump administration made efforts to address the chronic disease in 2019 by funding interventions to thwart the crisis. 5 years later, this issue is exactly where it needs to be, at the center of the presidential debate. And now, in a unique partnership, said Redfield, to heal our children, a president must see the possible and lead our nation to act. After more than 40 years in the public health arena, it might surprise some of my colleagues to know I think President Trump chose the right man for the job, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And if you listen to RFK talk, when he gets onto the topic of like health crisis and like environmental toxins and stuff like that, like that's what he's passionate about. Like he kind of floats a little bit on some other issues, but when you get him on to like health, that's where he really drives in home, and that's his baby right there. That's what he loves. Redfield stated that 75% of the U.S.'s $4 trillion annual healthcare cost is spent on chronic disease. He cited data from the National Survey of Children's Health that found 40% of school-aged children suffer from at least one chronic health condition. The virologist also cited statistics from Forbes noting that in 2024, 20% of children are obese. That's a fucking problem right there. 20% of kids are obese. That's a problem. And it just sets them up for failure for the rest of their lives. And then, you know, it has also downstream effects of like the military, for instance, right? So if a bunch of kids are overweight, then that's going to affect the recruitment pool for the U.S. military. That they won't be able to hold up to the standards and pass basic training. Today, private industry uses its political influence to control decision-making at regulatory agencies, law enforcement entities, and legislatures. Kennedy is right. All three of the principal health agencies suffered from agency capture. A large portion of FDA's budget is provided by pharmaceutical companies. NIH is cozy with biomedical and pharmaceutical companies, and its scientists are allowed to collect royalties on drugs NIH licenses to pharma. And as the former director of the CDC, I know the agency can be influenced by special interest groups. Well, no shit. There's a lot of money to be made in the medical facility. Like, you know, a patient healed is a customer lost, you know. And I don't think all doctors are all that are that way. Like, believe it or not, or at least here in Iowa, the VA is pretty goddamn good about actually taking care of people, or at least in my personal experience, they are. I mean, you know, they're kind of finicky on appointments, but, you know, hurry up and wait, right? The former CDC director said Republican candidate Donald Trump has pledged to establish a panel of experts to work with Kennedy to investigate the root causes of chronic health issues and childhood illness in the United States. This would be very big right here. Like, this is one of the biggest things that I support Trump for, is because when RFK was running independent before he endorsed Trump, I had voted Trump the first 2 times, and I was like on the fence whether I was going to vote for Trump or RFK. But then RFK joined Trump, and that just solidifies it right there, because the chronic health problems in this country, look, man, it makes us a laughing stock to the rest of the world. You know, we spend a fuckload on healthcare because we're all sick, and our children are overweight. We have all this chronic illness, and we just are a laughing stock to the world because we can't. We just look like a bunch of fucking Pillsbury Doughboys. It's bad. Excuse me. In response, Kennedy pledged that within 2 years, we will watch the chronic disease burden lift dramatically if he's given the tools he needs to make the change. And Redfield said, I believe him, and I think President Trump will empower him. I support their noble effort to heal our children. The virologist's op-ed was published the day after Kennedy touted his Make America Healthy Again message on Capitol Hill. This is big. I really hope that they can get in and do it. And let's see here. Like, even though he's joined the Trump team, if Harris wins, I really hope that she would do the same thing and bring Bobby in to do public health. What was the other thing? Oh, yeah. Here's the other story I was going to look at. I haven't read this one yet, but since we were talking about the assassination attempt on Trump here, there's a bipartisan report that details the security lapses in Trump's shooting at the Pennsylvania rally. Lawmakers say despite receiving credible intelligence of a potential threat, the Secret Service did not respond adequately. A new congressional report details critical security failures by the United States Secret Service that contributed to the shooting of former President Trump during a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. The interim report released by I cannot fucking talk today. The interim report released by the bipartisan Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee outlines a series of missteps that led to the July 13th, 2024 assassination attempt. Chief among the findings was the Secret Service's failure to clearly define roles and responsibilities for planning and securing the event. For instance, the advance team preparing security measures for the rally was unable to agree on who held authority to approve key decisions, creating confusions and gaps in security planning. So what are they saying, that nobody knew who the fuck was in charge? That is the most ludicrous statement I've ever seen. Ain't no way that they didn't know who was in charge. That is horse shit. The report also concluded that the Secret Service failed to ensure adequate surveillance of the American Glass Research AGR building, the location from which the shooter fired. Yeah, there was nobody on the roof. And then Kim Cheadle fucking said that they didn't have anybody up there because it was a sloped roof, after she said it was the responsibility of local law enforcement. So clearly they were fucking lying about something. Okay? Somebody didn't care. Somebody just let it happen. And they're just trying to save their own asses, CYA, or cover their ass. Cover your ass, CYA. Additionally, communication breakdowns between Secret Service and local law enforcement exacerbated the security failures. In one instance, local law enforcement officers spotted the shooter with a rangefinder before the attack, but did not relay the information to Trump's security detail in time. To reach its findings, the committee interviewed local law enforcement and reviewed more than 2,800 pages of documents provided by the Secret Service, along with audio recordings of the personnel involved in the event. And then the local law enforcement also released body cam footage of the day. What happened on July 13th was an accumulation of errors that produced a perfect storm of stunning failure. Chairman Richard Blumenthal, Democrat Connecticut, said in a joint statement with other members of the committee, looking forward, we need a structural reform of the agency itself. I don't buy that at all. And I'm with Tim Pool when he says there's no way, okay, Occam's razor, like Tim said, Occam's razor suggests that it was an inside job. It was an inside job. I believe that it was an inside job. Okay. All it takes is for a couple people to not fucking do their job to let this happen. And then Yeah. I don't buy that for 1 second. That's a monumental amount of errors to occur. It's just a coincidence that they all occurred for that to happen. The report also revealed that decisions made by Secret Service managers directly contributed to Trump's vulnerability at the event. These decisions included denying requests for additional security resources, such as surveillance drones and counter-assault team liaison. Despite receiving credible intelligence of a potential threat, the Secret Service did not respond adequately. The report indicates that there was no coordinated effort to remove Trump from the stage, even when signs of an imminent threat became apparent. Not only did USS fail to ensure AGR roof was adequately covered, they were also aware of a suspicious individual with a rangefinder for at least 27 minutes and did not delay the proceedings to remove former President Trump from stage. Even after being informed that the suspicious individual was on the roof of the AGR building, said Ranking Member Rand Paul, someone needs to be held accountable for these egregious failures by the United States Secret Service, and despite the United States Secret Service, DHS, FBI, ATF, and other federal agencies' continued obstruction of our bipartisan investigation, I will continue to push for answers and accountability. The report concludes with several recommendations to address the key security failures identified in the investigation. Among them, lawmakers urged the Secret Service to establish clear roles and responsibilities for personnel involved in the planning and executing security at high-profile events. The committee also called for an improved intelligence sharing and prioritization of resource allocation based on threat levels rather than the position or title of the protectee. Alrighty then. So the Secret Service dropped the fucking ball, and they just suck. That's basically what I got from that story, is that the Secret Service just sucks ass. And they failed hardcore. I don't think we'll ever get the real answers on that. And then, of course, half the country thinks that Trump staged it, which, to be quite frank, those people are fucking retarded. They're such a stupid take. And people who make that take have never fucking fired an AR-15. Never gone shooting. Or if they have, they're just being dishonest. They're just lying, because especially with that rifle, like the only fucking way you're going to make that precise of a shot to only hit his ear as a staging would be if you have a sub MOA fucking rifle, and that I doubt that AR was. And then also to be like, oh, he just tapped a blood pack. Well, other people actually got hurt. Like 2 people got grievously wounded, and Corey Compertore died. Like he was shot in the head. So real bullets were flying. And you mean to tell me that this dude with a red dot sight was able to be so precise that he could just nick Trump's ear? And then, we have the crackhead fed boy looking ass dude who was caught at the golf course to shooting at Trump. Like, it's just dumb. But yeah, no, that was odd. I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and then when we come back, we'll get into some more news stories. I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Don't get me wrong, love being on a stage, singing to the faces that I see in each state. I was born for chaos, ride a tornado. On a dare, if you got a saddle, go and grab one. When I need to slow down, oh yeah, I got a spot that nobody even knows about. Somewhere you can't get tickets. concert for the crickets. My concert for the crickets. Coyotes on a ridge, yelping for narco squirrels in the cab, eating gas station popcorn. Last of the moon, but tying knots in a Knox cord. Dixieland delighted, it'll flood if my heart pours. Somewhere you can't get tickets. Phone won't ring if you dial my digits. No Brevos made to reach this ticket. Me 6 strings and some cigarette flippers. I won't get tired of jamming guitar, laying in a truck bed, playing for the stars. 3 chords, 4 wheels, 5 gears, not one miss. A concert for the crickets. My concert for the crickets. My concert for the crickets. Got the hell out of Dodge going forward in a Chevy. It's a truck line off the rail. I ain't 21 no more, no need to mention any kind of beer that I may sip. No time for the strip when you're living these risks, feeding these dogs and cutting these fish. Working like a hog trying to pay them bills for a V8 on gravel and a couple good years. Go to heaven if I'm good, but I'm bad to the bone and I don't wanna change shit. Redneck rock star at any Waffle House, even if it is 2 a.m. Smoking joints out front, swapping good times, watching for the police creeping on by. Fist bump, country boys can't survive. We the last of a breed that don't ever die. A breed that don't ever die. Oh, we the last of a breed that don't ever die. Go to hell if I mean, but I love summer heat, so it won't be that bad. Roll in a drop top, all matte black with flames painted on the side. We be kicking up dust, being too loud. The devil might end up getting kicked out. Charlie Daniels said, once you in the mouth, we the last of a breed that don't ever die. We the last of a breed that don't ever die. Of a breed that don't ever die. Came to earth as a volunteer for the spirit of the down home. You could tear me apart on my own frontier. Every piece turns like it's chrome. And there's a hole in my heart, plug it with my own hand. Take all the hate as a couple grains of sand. Now go build a castle from the tears I shed. We the last of a breed that don't ever die. We the last of a breed that don't ever die. Oh,
All right. All right. Sorry, I had to go to the bathroom and whatnot. So I have a breaking news story here. Says it come out about 1 hour ago from Newsweek. So let's hop into this right here real quick. So breaking: Kiev launches mass drone attack on Russia the day after Putin's nuclear warning. Okay, so I saw in there it says September 10th. All right, homie. It's definitely not September 10th. So why is this video fucking attached to this if this is supposedly breaking news? Authorities in Russia have said that Kiev has fired drones into Russian regions bordering Ukraine in attacks that follow Vladimir Putin's suggestion that he wants to change the criteria for Moscow to use nuclear weapons, which is something that he did. Often without claiming direct responsibility, Ukraine has increased its drone strikes on Russian military facilities to hurt Moscow's war machine. And they did bomb that ammunition factory. So my whole thing with this, especially with the news of when they keep saying that they want to approve Ukraine to use long-range missiles into Russia, that like we need to de-escalate this war, because fucking I don't know if everybody just forgot that Russia has nuclear weapons, but they have nuclear weapons. And do we honestly think that when we back Putin into a corner that he's not gonna fucking he's not gonna drop nukes? He's not gonna take the world with him? Like, he absolutely will. I don't know what everybody's like. And here's like further evidence that he's planning on using nuclear weapons if they allow Ukraine to do this. And this is just wild to me. Okay, did we fucking forget that they have nukes? Like, look at this. This is from Fox News. Putin lowers the threshold for nuclear response as Biden administration pledges new funding to Ukraine. In a pointed warning to the West, Russian President Vladimir Putin said any nation's conventional attack on Russia, supported by a nuclear power, will be considered a joint attack on his country. Putin's announcement came as the Biden administration announced $375 million in additional security assistance to Ukraine, including air-to-ground weapons, munitions for rocket systems and artillery, armored vehicles, and anti-tank weapons. The warning came at a meeting of Russia's Security Council, with Putin announcing revisions to the country's nuclear doctrine. Putin said a revised version of the document states that an attack against his country by a non-nuclear power with the participation or support of a nuclear power will be seen as a joint attack on the Russian Federation. Putin emphasized that the revised doctrine spells out conditions for using nuclear weapons in greater detail, noting that they could be used in case of a massive air attack. Conditions for Russia's move to use nuclear weapons are clearly stated, in the revisions, he said. We will consider such a possibility when we receive reliable information about a massive launch of air and space attack assets and them crossing our state border, Putin added, citing strategic and tactical aircraft, cruise missiles, drones, hypersonic, and other flying vehicles. The Kremlin's revision of its nuclear weapons doctrine has opened the door for a major nuclear power to loosen its declaratory policy, which is never good, one expert warned. Regardless of whether you think it's a bluff or not, it's never good when a major nuclear power loosens the conditions for nuclear use in its declaratory policy. Samuel Sharap, senior political scientist at RAND, said in a post on X. The $375 million package for Ukraine was announced by U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken. Late Wednesday, the United States has committed to Ukraine's defense and against Russia's brutal aggression. Blinken said in a statement, "We will deploy this new assistance as quickly as possible to help Ukraine protect its territory and its people." Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is scheduled to meet with President Biden and Vice President Harris in Washington Thursday to discuss allowing his troops to use long-range weapons to strike deeper into Russia. The Associated Press contributed to this report. Original source. There it is. Okay, so and they're going to discuss him using long-range weapons to strike into Russia, and Russia just said that if we do that, it's a declaration of war. The world's getting a little bit crazy out there. It seems like we are sleepwalking into nuclear Armageddon, because we have this story as well, right? North Korea vows response to U.S. Navy submarine visit to South Korea. The powerful sister of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, so in South Korea. I'll say so. Kim Jong-un vowed Tuesday to boost the country's nuclear war capability and take other steps to protest the recent arrival of a nuclear-powered U.S. submarine in South Korea. North Korea has repeatedly vowed to expand its nuclear arsenal, but the latest threat by Kim Jong-un came after North Korea dialed up Kim Yo-jong. North Korea dialed up regional tensions by unveiling a uranium enrichment facility and testing a new ballistic missile. More nuclear weapons, more threats, and I want it to stop, man. Like, I don't want nuclear war, and I don't think anyone else wants nuclear war. And this is just getting wild, dude. Like, the rhetoric in the United States is bad because, people are taking shots at Trump, and you got a member of the federal government saying that they need to block Trump and, civil war conditions and all that shit. So and with, everybody fearing political violence and just the atmosphere of this country, like we might have a civil war in the United States at the same time having global nuclear war, World War III. We are in a very precarious situation, and everybody needs to gather up weapons, ammo, armor, food, water, and just be ready. Just be ready for shit to go down, because 2025 is going to be a lot worse than 2024, and it doesn't matter who wins. It's going to be fucking crazy come November 5th. It's going to be wild, and I'm pretty nervous about the future. I really am. I really hope that we can just calm down and get back to fucking normalcy, for real. But it's been a pleasure being with all y'all this morning. Thank you for watching. Remember to follow us on X at Millennial556 and here on YouTube at Millennial Republic. And I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great night. Or great day, I should say, rather. I'm used to recording at night, not during the day. But it's 5 a.m, so I will see you all later. I will probably chop this up and drop them as videos on my channel. So, deuces.
Your eyes got me high, and I ain't worried about wings. Your lips get me tipsy, like the strip at 17. Dance your hips and your hand asleep on the way outskirts of Music City. Let me play your heartstring and my tall pine trees. Like the fall, I don't wanna leave you alone. If I'm the one going on a limb, let me feed your soul till there ain't a leaf left to hit the ground and lose its color slow. As long as there's leaving left, then I don't mind the fall. then I don't mind the fall. Then I don't mind the fall. I don't mind the fall. Hope you spill every kiss on me. Your wildest of nights when the bonfire goes to sleep. A throw blanket and a worn out Jeep. The window rolled down so we could breathe. Cause you took my breath with a burnt CD and the top country hits of some THC. Like the fall, I don't wanna leave you alone. If I'm the one going on a limb, let me feed your soul. Till there ain't a leaf left to hit the ground and lose its color slow. As long as there's leaving left, then I don't mind the fall. Then I don't mind.